Okay. Hey, y'all. Don't know how long we'll be with you, unless it looks like the wind's picking up pretty good. I think we can get through this before it starts raining, but the only issue I think there is the wind, and it seems to be picking up pretty good right now. Last time I looked on the TV, I think the hurricane was near the Keys, somewhere in that area, and it's already become a Hurricane 1. As it goes through the Gulf, it's supposed to pick up and maybe be a 3 by the time it hits shore. And like I said, that should be around the Tallahassee area. But it's a very big storm. And so they've pretty much got all of Florida included, other than I think three counties. So I don't know what we're going to get out of it, but we're usually in pretty good shape because our utilities are underground, our TV is underground. If you picked up all your outside stuff, which that's very important, pick up your the big birds that you got out front, any of your little garden flags, any kind of stuff that might blow around, because we're supposed to get some serious wind. And let me tell you, when you see 60, 75 mile an hour winds, that right there is enough to scare you without looking at the rest of the storm. But make sure you got your stuff picked up in where it's not going to blow around. Your lawn chairs, like I said, all this stuff will be put in the garage when we get done here. So, because this stuff can blow around, believe it or not. And in those kind of winds, like I said, it's a scary proposition. Some of the things that I do think that for people that haven't been through the hurricanes or have been through very few, because the last few we've had was kind of blah. It was a hurricane out on the coast, but it didn't do nothing to us. Some of them we didn't even get any rain. But I think we're going to this time. And so we're going to have some serious rain, some serious wind. So to get prepared, I don't think you have to worry about shelter, but look for your shelters. Actually, the Villages doesn't have any, but there's several in the county. And make sure, especially if you've got a pet, if you have to go to a shelter, not all shelters take pets. I did find something out from listening to the governor talk this morning that a lot of the hotels that do not allow pets actually will allow them during an emergency like this. So that's something I did not know, but it's a good idea. They have, let's see, a few of the things that you really need to think about is fill your car up, because let me tell you, people coming from the south, going out of the harm's way, that's one thing they'll be doing is filling up. So, and I watched that in Irma, the gas stations actually run out of gas.
That's what I got to do today. I've got this portable generator I bought, but I don't have any gas for it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, okay. I do. I have I got like maybe 1 gallon.
Yeah.
But what if I like to go out here for 2 days? I mean, that's not enough. So.
And I
want to go to the camper, and I want to get my big blue Yeti. It's over there.
Okay. And that's not something that we expect to happen, but be prepared. That's the main thing. Be prepared.
Well, in the 10 years we've been here, we've never lost electricity.
No.
So.
But you never know. There might be that one day.
Why is that crooked?
The wind. The winds are blowing it.
No, it ain't.
Okay.
I can't stand it when things ain't right. I think I got OCD.
You think?
I think.
But anyhow, fill your gas tank up. Have cash, because a lot of times when
credit card machines don't
out,
work. When the electricity goes out, credit card machines don't work.
That's what I said. Have some cash. I mean, you don't have to have tons of it, but have some cash, because, like I said, even at the stores, they're all computerized now. I was in one once where they couldn't even get the doors open because the computers had went out. But anyhow, keep some cash ahead, plenty of extra water, batteries, that kind of thing. And
it's awful cloudy today.
There's a hurricane coming.
Yeah, but it's not up here till like Thursday.
No, we're going to get some of it today.
Friday.
Yeah, we're going to get some of the effects of it today.
Well, the either hurricane is way out there.
Yeah, but rain
and it's
wind.
So massive that we're expected to get, what did they say, 50 mile an hour winds here?
Yeah, I think 40 and 50 here. But like I said, it's a big storm, and there's such a thing as a wobble. If
So
you've
we don't know
never,
about the hurricane wobble yet. They haven't announced it.
yeah, that's what I said. If you don't know what a wobble is, I didn't know either until I moved down here. I said, they're showing you the path of the hurricane and where they think it's going to go. And I said, it could be up to a 3 by the time it hits land. But the wobble is something that happens last minute. If it happens to hit the right wind shear or what have you, it could go farther west. It could go farther east. And that's what they call a wobble. If it wobbles this way, then it could be, if it wobbles more to the east, then we
That's
will
what
get
we
more
worry
of the,
about.
we will
more than
get more of
anything.
the storm.
Yeah, if it wobbles more to the east, we're always
And
looking for that.
tornadoes. Because of the serious wind, we get a lot of tornadoes going around. And I said, we didn't have any problem with it, but the last one that hit the East Coast,
Well, I
they
was
had
just
problems with
watching
tornadoes.
Georgia news station up there for Savannah, and even Savannah, even though the storm's expected to go up and over toward Tennessee, Savannah is calling for severe storm watch for tornadoes spurring, even that far east.
Yeah, and so I said, don't get upset. Just be prepared. Get you some extra water. And from what I understand, the stores are selling out pretty quick. So if I was going to get any, I'd go now. Actually, something I did want to say today, from 11 to 2:30, the Maine lobster truck is in the Spar parking lot. If anybody's interested in those lobster rolls, I've heard they're great. Never had one, but I've heard they're great. And so they're going to be there. They're kind of a pop-up thing. They put it online where they're going to be. So they're going to be in Spar's parking lot from 11 to 2:30 today. So I said, if you want to go, and I said, now's the time to get out there. But anyhow, it's the normal stuff, batteries, extra water, and Skip actually used our solar lights from the yard and took them in the house. It gives you a little light, not a whole lot, but it gives you a little light. That's something you don't have to worry about putting batteries in.
No, everybody's got around here anyway. Everybody's got solar lights all around their flower beds to light up at night. And I know that my solar lights, the new ones I got, which has LED lights in them, they'll burn for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, and I've got 6 of those. And so if you use them sparingly, I should be fine. And then, of course, I got the Blue Yeti that I can plug the TV in. I can do all kinds of stuff with that. But really, I don't need to worry about that. I just use it to charge up my cell phones, because with your cell phone, you can do anything. Charge up my cell phones.
Okay. Just found us. Okay, but yeah, don't panic, because we're in an area that's very nice. It's very good located because the storms seem to go north and south of us for some odd reason. And I said, since we're almost in the middle of the state, what hits the coast doesn't do as much damage to us as what it would some of the other outlying areas. So like I said, we've never lost power. We've never lost TV.
I think they're talking about it in certain areas up there, like Destin, 15-foot storm surge.
Yes, and we don't have to worry about storm surge because we're inland. But it's one of those things that you just be prepared for what goes on, and don't think it can't happen here. It can.
As you can see, we're freaking out.
Yeah, but like I said, just remember that it's not going to be a direct hit here. If there is a wobble, we may get a little bit more rain and wind. But other than that, I think everybody will probably be okay. But like I said, just do the things that you think is necessary, like extra water, extra batteries, cash, fill your car up. Wouldn't hurt to have some canned foods around. You never know if electricity goes out. Ours is underground, so it doesn't happen that often, but you just never know. So be careful.
I'll lay you 10 on odds. Everybody out there's got enough food to last for 2 weeks.
Well, some people do. Yeah, I do.
It may not be a steak dinner, but it'll keep you alive.
Yeah, but like everything's electric here. So, if the stove quits working, the microwave quits working, have stuff that you can
I got
fix
a Blue
if not.
Yeti. I can plug my microwave into it.
Okay. But
a lot of people up the north, they got a gas stove. So
yeah. Well, but like, not everybody has those backups that we do. We have backups on backups. So,
I do.
Yeah.
I have backup to the backup.
Yes. Okay, let me see. I'm behind here. Kevin wants you to go live during the storm.
May not have internet.
Yeah, I may not have internet, but I said he could probably do that. Laura says hello from Bergen.
Well, wait a minute. What am I supposed to do? Sit out here while it's raining and everything?
What did you do for the first one?
I took the camera and I drove around the golf cart and took pictures and then I edited it, but I didn't go live.
Wow. I think you can. I don't know how your system works, but I think you can.
You think I can sit out here in the rain because it has something to do
No,
with
I
the
don't
system?
think you can sit out here in the rain. I mean, get in the car, drive around a little bit, that kind of thing.
Everybody's always got these great ideas for me to do.
I think that's what you're supposed to be doing.
I'm supposed to?
Show people what's going on. Yeah, I mean, don't get out.
I've done hurricane videos 100 times.
Okay.
How many times can you show the rain and the wind?
Oh my
To
God.
the point where it just gets boring.
It's not that boring to people that's never been here. They can
When
see
I was
what's
doing
going
it, I
on.
was on a YouTube channel. Now there's 100 of them. And
Okay.
every one of them's going to do something.
Okay. Watch somebody else to see your hurricane coverage.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Laura says it's 75 degrees and sunny. Says stay safe in all the villages. We will, Laura. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Jerry. Rich A from West Warminster, Pennsylvania. 65 degrees and drizzle. Need the rain. And KM, yes, I will put the plants in the garage as we're done here, and the lawn chairs, all the stuff that might blow around. And if you can see, my plants has got a disease of some kind. And
It's called soap.
What's called soap?
You spray this stuff with soap.
Well, I know, but the soap wasn't helping this. This was a bug. I think it's an aphid.
How do you know it's a bug?
I seen him.
You did?
Yes.
Where'd you see him at?
Shake that plant over there and you can see him. This little white.
Then why isn't it killing everything over there? It's only killing one plant.
I don't know. But anyhow, I didn't have any neem oil, which is a good thing to put on there if it's got bugs. Use neem oil. So I used Pam. I used my spray oil that I use in the kitchen and sprayed them. That seems to have made a difference. So until I can get out and get some neem oil, so I'm hoping. We got a last minute yard guy over here.
That's the one thing people say, is there anything about the villages you don't like that you really don't think about? Let me tell you, if you don't have a house here, this is the one thing that you probably didn't think about. You're going to hear lawnmower noises and weed eaters and edgers every day. There isn't going to be a day go by that you're going to hear that every day.
Yeah,
and here's why.
Try to coordinate, but it doesn't work.
And here's why. And I've always said people need to coordinate this stuff. And I try to get my neighbors to coordinate, but if they move out, somebody else moves in. Next thing you know, everybody's different. If you can get your house and everybody around you within, say, one or two houses to hire the same person, he'll come and mow your yard once every week on the same day. He'll do everybody, and he's gone for a week, and you don't have to worry about it. But they don't. That one gets a different person because they don't like whatever. That one gets a different person because they don't like whatever. Everybody's nitpicking. Next thing you know, every day of the week, somebody's mowing the yard around your house.
Yeah. Caveman says, make sure to use ethanol-free gas in your generator.
Now my generator eyeball's got a drain line on it, so I can drain all the gas out when I'm done with it.
Okay. Marcia says, hello, Skip and Sue. William says, wait a minute. I keep losing it here.
By the way, that was my icy buns. If you guys watched my RV channel, and I was coming home, taking Scooter home, and I said I stopped up there at Raceway to get gas. And I said, everywhere in the world you go, they got these icy buns everywhere. And then the one place I stopped, they didn't have any icy buns. Well, Sue got me a couple. It's not the ones I really like. They got two kinds. They got the giant ones and they got the regular sized ones. I really like the regular sized ones better. Why? because the icing on the regular side was a little thicker, and they used the same amount of icing to put on the giant bun, which makes the icing a little thinner, and it changes the flavor.
William says, I just returned from the Wally World in Leesburg. That's Walmart, if you don't know. The shelves are emptying fast. Probably should start drinking soon.
Yeah.
Good, William.
Everybody here, that's what they do, man. Well, you know, they did the same thing in Indiana. Let them talk about a snowstorm coming through town, and everybody swamps to the stores and starts buying up everything.
Yeah, you get bread, milk, cigarettes, and booze.
And toilet paper.
And toilet paper.
I don't get all that either.
That was a new one, but yeah. David Williams says, hi from Seattle. Well, hey, Seattle. Hope you're having good weather up there. KM wants to know what you're eating. And I think you're done.
Icy bun.
Okay. Joan says, hi from Ohio. Stay safe. And Skip, hold on to your hat.
Well, 50-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know if they're talking about sustainable or are they talking about gusts. They didn't really say.
I think it can gust up to 65, I think.
Gusts. Mm-hmm. So that means it could be 20-mile-an-hour winds and then just have a gust of 50-mile-an-hour wind. So, and we've been through this before. The worst one we went through was, what was the worst one?
Irma.
Irma was the worst one. That was because it was a direct hit here. And this one here is most generally when a hurricane comes in, and I'm no expert at all, but it seems like they always want to go up to the Panama City area up there, right up there at the armpit, which is what Panama City is.
The Big Bend.
It's the armpit of Florida.
Yeah. Brenda Allen says you need to tie your left shoe. Don't want you to fall.
And neither one of them are. You're lucky I even got shoes on.
That's what I was going to say. I can't believe he's got shoes on. And his pants are zipped.
And my pants are zipped. You know, I'm old. I don't care. The only reason why it's untied is because of this. I knew I have to move the camera back because I think we're going to get a guest today, and I had to move it back to there. Otherwise, it'd be sitting over here and a little closer, and you wouldn't see, and I wouldn't have our shoes on anyway.
Yeah. Ron 5850 says, hey, Skip and Sue, looks like you guys are going to need to fasten your seatbelts. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a windy day.
Well, we don't know yet. They don't have a good... Ron DeSantis was just on television talking about some of the things that and I didn't know this. He signed into law that when he declares the state of Florida an emergency or a county's an emergency, all hotels must accept pets, even if they normally don't.
Yeah, I told him that was smart because I've never heard that before.
Yeah, and every county in the state of Florida has to have at least one pet-friendly shelter. Now, I don't know what it is here. I mean, that's the thing is we have a pet-friendly shelter, but I don't know where it is or what it is.
Yeah. And there's 2 places to go for that. Let's see. See if I can find it. 2 places to go to find out.
Actually, you probably go to the Sumter County's website for one.
Yeah, it's ready.gov or floridadisaster.org. And click on shelter, and they will give you all that. I know that we do have one here.
Not in
some of the others, no, none in the villages, outside of the villages, but like it's in the county.
What's that community center they got over there? I bet it might be in there. I know
that one's for disabled. I think the one on Rolling Acres Road is the one for the school there. That's
I'm talking about for even human beings. If you want to hide from a tornado, where do you go?
And like I said, there's one in Wildwood at the community center.
That's what I said, the community center.
On Powell Road, yes.
Okay. Is it pet friendly, or is that just for people?
I don't believe it's pet friendly.
I'm just kind of getting my head here what they got in mind. Take your pets over to one place, dump them off, and then run over to the community center? Most people want to stay with their pet.
Yes. But like I said, they have a shelter that takes pets. And
can humans stay there?
Yes. You don't leave your dog in.
Well, I don't know. They said everybody must have a pet-friendly shelter. Didn't say anything about humans being able to stay there.
Okay. Well, anyhow, if you have pets, it wouldn't be bad idea to check.
There's that pole leaning to the right there. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
That light pole?
They've been told about it. Let's see. Elizabeth Chamberlain says, hi, Skip and Sue. Greetings from Myrtle Beach.
Let me turn this around so you can see what I'm talking about. Where's the turnaround button on this?
You're asking me?
I can never see it in the sunlight. Oh, there it is, way up there. Okay. Where's the pole at now?
On the corner.
Oh, there it is. Can you guys, well, I don't know if they can see it or not. Let me get my finger up there. Right there. That pole right there. You see it leaning to the right? On here, it don't look like it's leaning near as bad. Probably because we got that fisheye camera. But it's actually leaning pretty good. Let me turn it back around.
It's been bumped by something.
Yeah, but it'd have to be bumped by something in the yard to push it out toward the street.
Yeah. Elizabeth, what are you doing in Myrtle Beach? It seems like a great place to be right now. William says those lobster rolls taste like chicken.
The what?
The lobster rolls taste like chicken.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never had one, so I don't know.
Well, the truck is over at Spar right now. That's what I told him a while ago. You know, if you like the lobster rolls, go over to Spar and get you one off the truck there, because they're in the Spar parking lot. And I've heard they're terrific. Kathy Plum says, hi, Skip and Sue from Michigan. We're flying in on Friday. Appears storm headed north after Florida. Yes, because they're already giving things in Georgia. They're telling them what to do in the storm, because they know they're getting serious rain, if nothing else, up there. So, Harley John wants to know if you're doing interviews today.
No, just somebody sent me an email saying, hey, I'm free today. Can I drop by for Porch Settin? I said, sure, show up around 12:15. That way I got plenty of time to get set up for it.
Okay. And Jerry wants to know if you're trying to be Phil Donahue with the microphone.
No, I only got 2 microphones for the wireless mics. And so if I got a guest, this is the only way that we can hear is doing this. That's what I said when somebody was talking about wireless mics, because I'm not buying anymore. I've bought enough of. This makes my 3rd different set of wireless mics. They're crazy nuts. I'm waiting for the next invention where you have 4-channel wireless mics. And what that means is I'd have 4 of these wireless mics. So Sue could have one, I could have one, and we could actually have 2 guests and give them one, and we don't have to do any of this.
Yeah.
But so far, I haven't heard a thing.
William McGill says, hi, Skip and Sue from Rainy, Ohio. Well, you know, it could be worse. It just rained. I said, you could have a hurricane. So, but, Elizabeth Chamberlain, $9.99. So thanks for sending me the Villages magazine. I appreciate it.
Hey, when they send me an address, I don't even pay attention to who it is. I just write the stuff down and give it to Sue and get it out of here.
Yep.
So whenever we give them magazines away, whenever I say the first one that emails me, I'm not joking. I go in there and it has a date and a time on there. I go to the very earliest date or time, and no matter who it is, no matter where it is, I load it up and I ship it out of here.
Yeah, and some of those, you know, they have a lot of advertisements in them. But I got to tell you, best pictures in those books. Really, the pictures are terrific. I don't know, you know, how.
I don't really look at the magazines much anymore like I used to, but when we were coming down part-time, so to speak, the thing that I enjoyed about the magazine was the games in the back. You know, find the 6 differences between this picture and that picture. Some of them pretty tough.
Don't read the articles, we just play the games. Okay, Kevin says make sure you have propane.
For what?
I don't know.
I don't have propane in anything.
Yeah, we really don't need. If you're talking about the motorhome, yeah, it's filled. But other than that, you know.
That must be my guest.
I guess so. Hey, Sean Paul. Buddy. Buddy's buddy.
Buddy.
Look there, he's going nuts. Yes. Okay.
I came to visit you. I did.
Yes.
You're supposed to sit over here.
I will. I'm just got to say something to Buddy for a second.
Yes.
But it never quits. He'll be like this all the time.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? How you doing?
Good.
What about the cart? They can't see it at home, but that's pretty.
That's pretty snazzy. Yes.
My wife designed it and everything. The
Buddy,
flames
stop
and
it.
the dragon.
Come here.
Got everything.
This is Halloween colors.
Stop it.
I like it. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, everybody. This is Sean Paul. And I know you've seen him a couple weeks ago. He come by to visit. How's the job working out?
I was let go last week.
Oh.
I was there 2 weeks and got a great review. They said I was ahead of the curve way ahead of the curve.
They always say that's where the leader the bomb on you.
And then, Friday and Saturday I was great. Went into work Tuesday. At the end of the day, they said we're letting you go. And the best thing I can tell you is that somebody up in management didn't like me. Is what I think.
Well,
is that the way it goes?
Yeah, that's the way it goes. There's plenty of other places around here.
But I mean, I'll find somewhere else. If anybody knows a great place, Jose, I'm going to go by. If you're watching, I'm going to go by cows. I'm going to see about cows. Talk to them.
Cows Barbershop.
Yeah.
They have the one in Brownwood that I think they have.
I think they got two sides to it there.
Yeah.
I think the women's on one side, the men's on the other side. But that don't mean anything because I've seen a lot of women sitting in the men's barber chairs.
And vice versa, I'm sure.
Well, I think they get their hair just trimmed up right there.
I'm sure, yeah. So how's that? How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I got to tell you, and Sue, you've brought this up several times. There is so much good stuff down here. there is so much good stuff.
There is.
Everywhere you go, there's good stuff here.
Yeah. And no, we don't take advantage of a lot of it, actually, because we've been here a while and we just kind of burn out on some of it. And COVID kind of put he's not going to assist you.
I know.
COVID kind of put the kibosh on a lot of stuff that I did. I don't do as much anymore because for a while there we couldn't do anything.
Give me his leash. Can't let him out until we got people over there. He'll take off over there.
Yeah, I was going to hook him back up.
Yeah.
Then he'll start whining because he don't like being hooked up.
Yeah. Okay, say where's Mommy. Can you say where's Mommy?
He's still just pure puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Pure puppy.
Yeah, it won't be long. End of November, he'll be a year old, but you can never tell it.
But, the weather has been hot, just, but today driving over, and I came on the golf cart, the breeze is fantastic today. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think, it's when the humidity goes down, this high temperature doesn't really feel as bad. Like I said, it's the humidity that makes it so bad right now. But like I said, the other morning when I was walking, 71 degrees. It was wonderful.
Yes.
Everybody that I passed said the same thing. Isn't this wonderful?
And I think our nightly lows for the rest of this week's going to be in the 70s, like 73.
Well, it has been, 74, 75.
11 o'clock, I posted on Facebook. It was 81 degrees at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if you remember right, every time a hurricane hits this way, it gets warmer.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
He just said that it was 70, what did you say, at 10 o'clock?
11 o'clock last night, it was 81 degrees.
81. That's the hurricane, though, right?
Yeah, it has a tendency to suck that southern air up here, I think.
Yeah. But thank you, Elizabeth, for that $9.99. We really, really appreciate it. And like I said, anybody that, if you're interested in that magazine.
Counterclockwise. So, yeah, as it comes up here, it'll pick up that hot air down in South America, and it'll draw it right up here.
Well, they're saying now we're only going to get like 2-3 inches of rain, is what they're saying now.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, my lawn could really use 4 inches.
Oh, yeah. And nobody argues about the rain much, but.
We're only going to get 2 or 3 inches here?
That's what they were saying this morning on the news is, they don't really know.
No, they don't. I'll get ready to say, don't take that literally. The wobble could happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could change and come straight over here. Then we get 12 inches of rain.
That's called a wobble.
Wobble.
Yeah.
If you never heard that, the news people will use that down here. Let's say, well, we had a hurricane wobble. It wobbled about 14 degrees. So now that means it's going to go this way. Then one year we had the wobble. It actually went up heading toward the panhandle, the armpit of Florida. And all of a sudden it made a right turn, went straight across Florida, and then up the eastern seaboard. Yeah. That's a wobble.
Julie's here.
A big wobble.
Julie Ship.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie. Call me sometime. That's the daughter I never had.
Gotcha.
Laura wants to know what wine pairs with hurricane.
Annie?
Cold.
Box.
Cold wine.
Box wine. So you have a lot.
One guy asked me, he said, what's the best beer? And I said, free.
That's true.
And then KM, it took us a while, because we was running our mouth. But KM.
Where's KM at?
Yeah, KM, where you at?
Yeah. He gets around.
So while y'all are waiting, I'm going to hit on some good things.
Come on, baby.
For those of you that are thinking about coming, and again, join Patreon. I know I haven't been on Patreon and Discord in a while, guys. I am going to get, I was working and then I got fired and then, anyway.
I'm telling everybody.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But anyway,
But I'm going to make up a story.
we all you want, man.
Hey, if
I'm not
John
afraid.
Paul, he's trying to sell drugs out there, and they caught him.
That would be a good one. But for those of you that are thinking about coming here, talking about things to do that are really great, the rec centers. We've gone and visited. Now when we drive by a rec center, we just go in and look in, and the theming is just fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
Fantastic.
They don't spare anything on these buildings, these rec centers. The regional rec centers are fabulous, and the regular rec centers are just they're not. You know, I've been in a few in some of the retirement areas around here. That's not in the villages, and they look like school libraries. That's what they look like. You know, the
Kind of
yucky,
depressing.
yeah, kind of depressing. Nothing on the walls, but books, and that's it. Tables, very very boring. They don't do that here. That's everything around here. That the buildings themselves are something to look at.
Well, you gotta go to different ones because they all have different things.
Yeah.
Like they got video games. I like playing Miss Pac-Man, and the one at Franklin by us, they got Miss Pac-Man, but they don't have that at all of them. And then some of them, we went and looked at one, and I couldn't tell you which one it was, but they must have had 12 pool tables, and they were packed. Like people were coming in for pool tournaments. So
yeah.
I don't know about all the regional rec centers. I've been to a lot of them. In fact, I think I've been to all of them. I just don't remember all of them. But I know that the neighborhood rec centers, ours here, and the other neighborhood we lived in, the neighborhood rec centers where the pool tables are at. And that's where the adult swimming pools are at, where kids can't go. And that's usually where I went, was there.
What, and that would be a good question. I bet that the people that haven't been here, they're thinking, what makes it to be a regional or a neighborhood?
If you want to get a guest pass for your guests, you have to go to a regional. That's the only place you can get one.
Okay.
Also, if you want to buy, say, a 6-month or a 1-year cart pass to go to on golf cart trails, you have to go to a regional to do that.
Now you're talking. Then that's another thing. I took Kelly, or Dr. Kelly, and we took a golf lesson with Mitch Adcock.
What doctor is she?
She's practicing. Well, her title is Doctor of Nurse Practitioner. And Kelly, if you're watching, I know I just messed that up. You can text in and correct me on there. But anyway,
I thought she was a dermatologist.
She's practicing dermatology.
Okay, that's it.
And it's a mobile. They have these semis that are up to close to $1 million.
Yeah.
And so, like tomorrow, I think she's going over to Legacy, which is it's another community, but it's just outside the villages in Leesburg. But it looks really nice.
They got a great bar.
Do they really? Yeah. Well, I don't think she'll be experiencing the bar while she's there.
Why not?
Well, it could be some interesting surgeries.
You see that little dude right there?
You got a shot.
That's from getting blood tests yesterday. I have never had a bruise in my life from that. I don't think this guy knew what he was doing.
So they did find blood in you?
Well, they found it.
Yeah.
And how come they got to take so much blood just to run a couple of tests?
So somebody chime in. Can they hear? Can y'all hear if I hold the microphone here? Because we're probably loud enough.
Yeah, we're loud enough. I could turn it up, but I just don't like to mess with it.
Gotcha.
Judith Moore says there might be 100 channels out there, but you're the only one we watch. Well, thank you, Judith.
Oh, and by the way,
we don't know why, but thank you.
Thank you to the fans that dropped by Salon Jaylee. When I get my next salon, I'll come on and tell y'all where we're at. That was fun. And also to my neighbors that stopped and said hi. Tell your daughter not to go work at Salon Jaylee if she's moving here, because I can't recommend them now.
There you go. And there's more than one of them.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's more than one of them.
I don't get my haircut wherever there's women.
And used to, he wouldn't go anywhere.
Used to. Well, there was a reason for that. Up north, I had my haircut for years by a lady that had I'll call it a salon attached to her house.
Yeah.
And I called up there. Her nickname was Wink, and I called her Wink. Everybody called her Wink. Her actual name was Wilma. I don't like Wilma. I think that's a stupid name.
He doesn't like your name. He gives you a name.
Yeah. So I don't. Anyway, I called her Wink.
So he must like Sean Paul then.
Well, we used to.
That's funny because the email you sent me doesn't say that name.
I know that's my legal name is not Sean Paul.
I like Sean Paul. Now I like Sean Paul better. Don't confuse me with names.
No.
So anyway, what was we talking about?
The barbershop that you went to.
It wasn't a barbershop. It's a woman's salon.
Yeah.
And she did it by appointments only. and she only would do one woman at a time. You could come and wait for your appointment, but she had one chair. That's it. And I asked her, I said, can you cut men's hair? She said, oh, I'm very good at cutting men's hair. And the guy she was living with, Chuck, he had a haircut that was just looked really good. I mean, you know, when a haircut that doesn't look like a haircut, but it always looks very neat and trim. So I said, can you cut my hair? And she said, well, what time do you want? I said, when there's no women around. I'm not going to be in here for that. So that's the reason why I started going to her, because she would make my appointment the last one of the day whenever I wanted it. And I could go in, nobody was around, and get it done.
That makes me think of a story. You know, doing hair 36 years, you get some good stories. And where I lived in South Atlanta, you could be 20 minutes and you could be in the sticks. And there was this woman that was famous. She had a mobile home and then a mobile home in an L shape beside. And you would pull up and you would blow your horn and wait in your car. And she'd walk out of the one mobile home and walk in the other one, and she would cut your hair with a Flowbee for $3.
A Flowbee.
You need a reference there, Skip? Go get you a referral.
He does his own now.
I do my own. I don't have no hair to worry about.
Yeah, and he doesn't use a Flowbee. So. Been a long time since I heard that name.
Yeah, they went away. They were real popular for a long time.
Marcia says, Skip, contact Jim Cantori. He will tell you how to do storm coverage. Ain't that the truth? I looked this morning and he was he was over on the East Coast somewhere, and I thought, boy, are you in the wrong place? But maybe not. Maybe he's tired of getting blown around in these hurricanes.
Buddy, stop it.
But yeah, that's why they always judge how bad the storm is going to be. They look see where Jim Cantori was.
It wasn't Jim, but it was a couple hurricanes back, and they got busted. They were standing there acting like the wind was all bad, and they're like doing like this, and then somebody just walks by behind them. Did you see that?
I see that. That was hilarious.
Like CNN or something. It was so funny.
Ron 5850 says, do you guys ever put on hurricane shutters over the windows? No, we don't. And I said, the first hurricane that we were in this neighborhood, we did see a couple neighbors board up their windows because they were from the north. They didn't know what to expect either. And Irma was a serious storm. It wasn't the worst, but it was a serious storm. And so they had plywood over their windows. We actually took the windows out of our lanai because they're only guaranteed up to, I think, 100, something like that, for wind. And so Skip actually took them down and put them in the extra bedroom because we didn't know what to expect.
But that's the only thing you have to do is if you have glass on your lanai, because, and I can't say for the older section, I'm only speaking from here south because I know, but the windows that they use and install are rated well beyond the winds we'll get here.
Yeah. Well, this time, anyhow, like I said, that storm was supposed to be a Category 4 when it got here. It wasn't. It had kind of petered out as it come through the from Tampa, but it still was a serious storm. But yeah, we didn't have that kind of wind. I think we had 65, 75 mile an hour wind, which we could have that today. You just never know, or tomorrow. I've got the ladies' lunch tomorrow, so I don't know whether to cancel or not.
Well, and Kelly's got work, like I said, at Legacy, and they're already talking about a contingency. And
I've gotten emails already from my dentist, doctor's offices, and everything that as of 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Romac's closing. We're waiting on a door to be delivered, and they're closing early.
And they're taking the gates down at all the guard shacks.
For those of y'all don't know what Romac is where everything comes from for these houses. It's the biggest complex I've ever seen.
Yeah, just about. I said our shingles were from different places, and
Romac's also one that has your window warranty now.
Yeah, and your garage door, all that stuff comes from Romac.
Works? I call them. If your windows are under that 10-year mark, windows are guaranteed for 10 years, and if you need to get them replaced, they will replace them for free. No, they will bring the window for free, but it's $500 to install it.
That seems.
It's a little bit more complex than that. Well, and then right now, back when we moved in here, they were having trouble with the CertainTeed shingles. And that's what all these houses have on them is CertainTeed. And they had a problem with them at that time. And some of the houses around here now, and I said, we're getting into the our warranty's already over part. but some of the houses here actually have to have shingles replaced because, like I said, they're not fastened down good, and some of them are losing the gravelly stuff on the top, and so they're having a problem with them right now. But this was back in 2014.
They go nicely all over the villages. They ain't got anything to do with anything really. But if you have lighter colored shingles, like over there, you see the
the staining.
that's mold.
Yeah.
But some houses don't get it. I've noticed.
They got it. You just can't see it.
The
If
black-
you look at this dark shingle here, if you look really hard, you can see it.
Yeah.
And I said
it's
on
some
ours,
it's some kind of a tree virus fungus thing. I don't know, that it blows from the trees, it gets on the house, and then when it rains, it just kind of grows.
Okay.
And then so you can actually, and I'm gonna call this next time. There's a company here that will actually go up there and wash your roof now.
I saw the ad,
Yeah.
and it supposedly extends your warranty because
I don't know about that.
The rumor is, and I don't know, they say if your shingles are over 10 years old, they give you a hard time about warranting it. And the commercial says they come out and spray this stuff and extends your life. Or
Well,
your
I
warranty.
think
like
the
the shingles.
no pressure wash company that I used to wash my house, I think they do that now. And if they do, I always get the same guy. I'm going to ask him because I'm coming up to where I get my house washed in May and October. So we're getting there, and I'm going to ask him
And
about that.
your warranty ends this week.
Huh?
Your warranty ends this week. Your 10-year warranty ends
I don't
this
care
week.
about the warranty.
Okay. I'm just telling you
I'm talking about just getting the roof washed.
Okay.
Washed, WARSHED.
Before we leave the shingle thing, and Skip, I'm sure being on the road, you saw some interesting things. There was a shingle factory I went to one time, a long time ago. I mean, this is 30-something years ago. It was the scariest place I've ever been. Like, they had machines that looked like they were medieval and fire shooting out of them and everything. And I was like, holy cow. And the reason we were there, I was working for a restaurant. We were taking catering down there to celebrate however many days since their last accident. That's a little scary when you go to work for a place and it has the number of days.
I have worked for that place.
Yeah.
It was called Brockway Glass. It was in LaPel, Indiana. That was really my first major job out of high school. And that was back in the day where you put in a paper application. And then what you did is you just harassed them every day, called them every day, need a job, till they got so sick of hearing your phone calls, they put you to work.
Because it paid good, didn't they?
It did pay
for
good.
that time.
It was a union job. So I go in there, and they introduced me to my nighttime foreman, supervisor, whatever you want to call him. And then there was this little suck butt guy that kept following him around, and I could see right then, this guy's going to be a problem, this suck butt guy. Because he was one of them guys saying, yes, sir. Oh, I'm glad you said that. That's why you're you. And that's the kind of guy he was.
Why do the executives need that guy? What is that?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I think that's who fired me. I think there was one of those that fired me.
And I don't even know what this guy's job was, except to follow him around. But anyway, he come downstairs. He said, I'm going to show you what your first job is. We start you at the bottom, and you work your way up with seniority like everybody else does. Okay, I'm 18. I don't care. I go down there. First thing he does is he hands me a scoop shovel. And then he gives me a hairnet, because I had hair back then. And he said, you have to wear this, and here's some safety glasses. You got to wear them, and here's a breathing apparatus. While you're down here, you must have that on at all times. He said, I'm not kidding you. If I catch you without that, he said, I'll fire you on the spot. I said, okay. Well, what's my job? Well, they recycle glass there. So the glass is ground up like a fine powder to remelt it. Well, on this elevator they had that takes the glass from there up to the firing room, it falls on the ground through holes and stuff. It's just piles of powdery glass. I'm supposed to scoop all that up and put it back on the elevator, and this stuff just floats around in the air. I'd go home at night. My hair itched. My neck looked like I breaking out.
Well, if you breathe that in, it'll kill you, right?
Well,
it'll start cutting your lungs up.
Like you, I didn't last 2 weeks.
Oh, man. Yeah. I know I'm going to get it for this.
Oh, BJ, yeah. Give it a shot. Put it on Discord. I'd like to see that.
What's that?
He's got a video, and he doesn't think he can put it on here, but he thinks he can do it on Discord. So.
No, you can't put it on chat. They don't accept videos on chat.
Oh, okay. Oops. Oh well.
How am I doing? That's a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Just a sidebar on that. If you guys want to text a large group of people, and I just recently did, there's an app called Hit 'em Up, and it took me forever to find it. I mean, was working on that for like 6-8 weeks trying to find somewhere where you can, text a large group, like 250 people or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it a lot easier. So if y'all are struggling with that, there's a pointer. Hit 'em Up is the name of the app. It's got a little green, I don't know, about the color of my shirt icon.
Okay. Sue Lane says, pass on to everyone, if you're planning on moving to Florida, please go out and purchase a NOAA weather radio. I live in Lakeland, Florida, and will be moving to the Villages. Yeah, those are important, but I've never had one that I could get to work right. Of course, I'm not technical, and I said I'd had to have Skip fix it, but and I said nowadays everybody uses their phone.
Nowadays, here in our area, we don't need it. If you've got a power backup of some kind, as long as you keep your cell phone charged, you got everything you need.
That's what I said. I use my phone now, so I don't worry about it. But I never could get the darn things to work.
So let's circle back before you go on from that. Talking about a generator, I have not seen generators around here.
I got one in the garage.
You got one? So do you have you had, because Kelly was asking me that,
I've never had to use it.
Never in 14, because you've been in this house.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
10 years, and the other house you were there.
5.
And did you have a major power loss in 15 years?
We've never lost electricity here.
There you go.
So that don't mean it can't
There's
happen.
your answer, Kelly.
Yeah.
I don't mean it can't happen. And really, I bought this generator for my RV. It's my backup to my backup because the generator.
Yeah, we saw that program.
Okay, so that's for that. But it's in the garage. I keep it here. So if anything happens and I really need to use it for something, I've got it.
So
there are parts of the Villages that's on a different transformer than we are. Like over in the Pine Hills, Pine Ridge area, they have lost power over there.
Okay.
Because they're on.
How about the historical area?
I don't know about them. I think so.
Yeah.
But there are places that have. We haven't.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean
you can't
everybody.
be guaranteed you're never going to lose electricity. I'm just saying where we're at so far in 10 years, we've never lost electricity.
We've never lost TV.
Well,
no.
Because everything's underground.
What makes me think at this point is I remember watching you this summer, and you lost whatever going up to take your grandson back home. Was the backup generator in your garage because it wasn't?
Didn't have it then. That's what made me. That's what made me buy this thing.
So I said, now we've got a backup for the backup.
Right.
Oh, right.
Now since then, I have fixed this other generator and got it going good. But every time I leave, I'm taking this one with me.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So speaking of things dying, the truck died. It was leaking.
Really?
I don't know. They said it's $11,000 to fix it.
Your pickup?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What was leaking?
It was leaking from oil from the upper oil pan gasket, but because of it blew a seal. And really, 11,000 isn't too much, but I think I'm letting it go now.
I'm trying to understand how a gasket could cost $11,000 to replace.
No, it's actually it's much bigger. It needs a new front end tie rod, I think, is what it needs.
You're talking about fixing everything.
Yeah, and it needs some injectors and the seals and blah blah blah.
But trade it off.
But the thing of it is, and this is what's weird, guys, is when they say you come here, you're going to have to change your life, because I never thought I would be without that diesel truck. I mean, that's an apocalypse truck. It's not on any computers. You can drive it underwater if you want. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're going to need it anymore. I think I'm going to be passing it on.
You ought to heard the argument when he said I had to give up my car. We had
say she had to.
Well,
She's making it sound like that I give her orders all the time, and I didn't. All I said was we were talking about budgets, about having, because I was going to be a snowbird. So you have to worry about budgets of having a house up there in the winter, down here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, to save on money, I says, we really only need one car when we go down there, because I'm going to have my golf cart, and I can take it anywhere I want to go if I need to go somewhere. So you ain't getting rid of my car. You're not going to abandon me down there with no car.
Well, speaking about getting the what for, just yesterday, Kelly says to me, I thought you said you would never be without that truck. And I said, well, we're here now. And I also think I made the decision I'm going to get rid of my sports car. I've got a 99 M3 BMW. Oh. And I think I'm going to get one of them Mini Coopers. They're kind of SUV thing.
Oh, I love the convertible Mini Coopers.
And Kelly said, what? You said you'd never. And I said, well, we've been here. It's like right at 7 weeks now.
Never
and
say
you
never.
start changing. And that's what she said. Well,
Yep.
you definitely learned that. And I can say, Kelly, you were right, as always. If you watch
Well,
it.
you're starting to sound like that guy that followed my supervisor.
Kelly, if you're watching, I heard
I know
that.
my supervisor. I know my supervisor.
Marcia says, here in Atlanta, I am doing storm prep. Batteries all sold out. No ice, and canned soup is at a premium.
They could get it worse in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It could be worse there.
Yeah. Let's see.
That hurricane years ago, and I wish I could remember, because the year we bought our first house, it started raining 4th of July, because where we were at was Peachtree City. It's a golf cart community. Nothing compared to this, but it's like 37,000. And it started raining on 4th of July, right before the parade, and it didn't stop raining until October. And that hurricane just sat over Georgia and Alabama and just circulated and circulated.
Wow.
And the amount of water, I mean, it messed up everything, because Georgia's not able to handle that much water. It's a farce. When they say that they're running low on water in Atlanta, that's pretty much impossible. Now, they can have too much, but it's pretty much, they just want to raise your water bill.
I remember
that's a scam.
I
The plant's 85% water. Are we really going to run out of water anywhere?
Remember going through there when there was ice on the road.
Ooh, yeah.
And those people do not know how to drive.
I have a lot of stories about that, but I'm going to leave that one.
Funniest thing I saw the driver is I'm going down through there, and it was starting to freeze over a little bit, and I had to go to, I'm going to guess, to Florida somewhere to make a delivery. And I was watching cars in front of me just doing some of the stupidest things, not even slowing down, and just sliding everywhere. And I thought, you know what, I'm getting off for this next rest area, and I'm just going to sit this out. I'm sitting there watching cars really roller skate down the highway. And then coming into the rest area, the exit ramp right there, they're going to salt that, which is a good idea so you can slow down. And they didn't have salt trucks back then. They had a pickup truck, like a big pickup truck with salt in the back of it. And there was two guys in a scoop shovel. And as the truck drove through, they were just slinging this stuff over the back of the truck.
So I can say something about this. Atlanta gets hit by ice. I think it's about every 10 years, and it's just so infrequent. But it wasn't the last one, but the time before that, a whole bunch of people complained. And so the governor and everybody had to do something. And they put in, I didn't know what the heck they were. They put in these tents about every third exit on the exit ramp in that clearing. And they have sat there so long that all the tents have deteriorated. So the salt is all washed away that was in those tents. So when they get hit again, it's going to be back to square zero. But if you have a good truck, that can put a plow on the front, they'll pay you a lot of money to come and plow.
I'll tell you something that happened in Michigan that I saw, and I talked to them. They were installing some kind of a bar, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3 in each lane, every mile on this like 10-mile experimental part of a highway on Highway 69 going into Michigan. And I kept seeing them doing that, and I thought, what the heck are they doing? I've never seen it before. So I'm at a way station, and in Michigan, the way station people are state police officers. And I'm asking her, I said, what are they doing out there? She says, it's an experiment. They've invented something, I forget what it was, that it will heat up the concrete, because they have concrete highways up there. And she said that way in the wintertime, they're hoping that'll just melt everything off, and they won't need to have a scraper to come out here anymore.
Did it work?
I don't know. I haven't been up there since.
I mean, somebody needs to chime in.
That makes,
where was it at? Where was it at?
Michigan.
Somebody chime in. Did that work? Because it was
probably
heated up and I bet they wouldn't have to heat it very much. It's like the guy. Do you remember when the whales got stuck in Alaska, and this guy made a motor for ice fishing, and it was just a little tiny motor and a little tiny fan, but it circulated the water enough to keep it from freezing. And that's how they saved them whales. So it's just a little bit of warmth. It could make a big difference.
I do remember them whales getting stuck. But it was amazing how all them people up there came to help these whales.
It was cool. It's a cool human story.
Yeah.
Human beings doing something really cool.
And if I remember right, what they done was not only give them their air holes, but they cut sections of the ice out so they could go down, swim, and come back up over here.
Yeah.
They went down and cut another hole.
Absolutely. And then didn't the Russian icebreaker come in and do the final thing? Wasn't it a Russian icebreaker?
I know, I'd bomb them.
Well, now,
You
but
can't trust the communists.
back then, well, Reagan settled it down for a long time.
Copy center email says, "Don't blow away. We are coming down in January to look at houses there."
There's no hurricane season in January.
And
We'll be there.
also, if you're coming down, I put some places. I don't remember who was, but talking about wanting to be near the action and being near a square, but get a new home. Richmond, that new section of Richmond, it's all designers and verandas. And I'm telling you what, you are 3 minutes golf cart ride from Brownwood in that new one.
And those are brand new. Nice, because they opened Richmond last year, I think, or the year before, and so everybody thought the houses were sold out because they went on to the next area and built. But then they come back. They kept a part of Richmond and they kept it plain, and then they come back and they just built new houses in it, and they just now put them on the market. A good area, very good area. Yeah.
If you want to be near a square, you're going to be right in the middle of the
because
action.
you'd be right next to the rec center there, which has they're putting in the tiki bar, and I said they got fishing docks. They just got all kinds of things there, so it's a very great rec center to be around. So. And
they're doing, and Skip, you'll probably know because you played golf. Oh, did I say I had my first golf lesson yet? Took our first golf lesson with Mitch Adcock. He's a big deal, I guess, up at Palmer. I don't know.
They hire a pro all the time.
But it was pretty did a little putting. But up in Spanish Springs, they took something about the golf club, and they're doing courtyards up there, right in the old section. So there's a new thing there too.
And where they knocked the hacienda down.
Was that hacienda?
Yeah.
Was that a golf?
It was
resort?
A country club, and
the
golf
country
course.
club. The developer tried to sell it to that district. The district said they didn't want nothing to do with it, so he tore the country club down at the restaurant part and everything, and now they're building courtyards in there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't busy enough to keep open.
See, the controversy.
It was old and it had to be refurbished.
The controversy there was over at I want to say Santiago. They did not have a recreation center there, but what they had was years ago in the villages, the country clubs, most of them didn't have restaurants. So, but they had buildings in each area that people would rent that building and put a restaurant in there, like family places. And that place up there had a family-owned restaurant. Me and Sue's been there. I liked it a lot. Well, they didn't want them in there. So they got those people to leave. However they do that, the building got tore down. Then they built a recreation center right there. So that's kind of like some of the politics that goes on.
Well, and again, there are things that people aren't going to like here. And if you don't...
You, for one, you've been fired already after only 2 weeks.
Stay away from Lake Denham. I'm all over the place. But overall, somebody has to be the bad guy. Somebody has to be. You were the bad guy for a while.
I still am.
But I mean, you had your own company. Somebody has to be the bad guy.
Somebody's got to make a decision. And if you don't like it, you leave it, because that's just the way the boss works. This is how I say it. I'm going to do it my way. And if you don't like it, you leave it.
Okay. Gina Roberts says, Daily Sun article says people in manufactured homes should probably leave for hotels or friend's house. That makes me concerned as a new resident.
Well, you say that, but I know our historical area has been there since the 80s, and they're still 70s. There. 70s?
Yeah.
So that fallacy about all trailers and stuff blowing through, that's not true.
You can buy one from the 70s right now.
If you're on the coast, that changes everything. It changes not only the price of homes and everything else, that changes everything. I already know by watching the news this morning, some county, I want to say Hernando County, which I'm going to guess is a coastal county, now it's a mandatory evacuation. They're telling you to get out.
Yeah, on the coast. But like I said, we're inland, and if you live in a manufactured home, if you're concerned, go visit somebody.
Well,
I don't think you'll have a problem, but like I said, when the manufactured homes were put in there, and some of them have got some years on them. A lot of them has been changed over to stick-built homes now. But some of the manufactured homes has got some years on them. And depending on what wind we get, it could be an issue. I know
if we're out here, we'll get a lot of wind.
There was a lot of rain, and it flooded over there. And I said, we've never had to worry about a flood here, but over there it did flood. But I think they have since took care of that problem. But yeah, unless, like Skip says, whatever makes you sleep at night. If you're concerned, I said, go visit somebody, go to a hotel, what have you. But I really
when I
don't
get
think it's
concerned about it raining here, whatever, I'm going over to Sean's house.
What about
His wife's a doctor.
that? And it's Sean Paul. One word. What about that lake that's on the other side of the old bridge?
Don't correct me. That's not even your name.
What about that lake on the other side of the bridge? Those houses, that's a high water lake. That's the only one that I've seen. You know what I'm talking about?
I
If
do.
you go out of Spanish Springs over the bridge, it's right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
That lake looks a little scary to me.
Yeah, but it's not very big. That's for one. But like I said, they did have some flooding over there a few years ago during a hurricane, and I said, and a lot of people were kind of stuck there. I felt bad for some of the elderly people that couldn't get out. But there's
I think they fixed that.
well, I think they did too. But there's a lot of groups here in the villages. Actually, there was one group that actually went over there and took paddle boats and blow up boats and what have you, and went around and helped those people out. So, I think you're in good shape there.
I've heard
The only thing that would
chitty-chatty.
be a serious problem, I said, would be wind, the wind, big winds. And I said, they're saying 45, 55 mile an hour here. But if it gets worse than that, and like I said, there's always a chance of a wobble. So if it comes closer, it could be bigger winds. So if that's something that you're worried about, yeah. But normally we don't have any problems.
I've heard that, and I don't know this. It's a rumor, and the rumors fly around here. But I've heard Chitty Chatty, some parts of it has the water.
I've heard that too. I don't know that for facts, but I know a couple of people that live in Chitty Chatty. And next time I see them, I'll ask them. They'll tell me.
Well, and we had some pictures from DeLuna once where their roads flooded, but it was a very short period of time. But they actually sent us pictures that their road had flooded.
We had pictures of their roads flooding. And here's what I posted it, showing the name of the street and where it got flooded. And then I guess the people bought houses over there, and it felt like I was insulting them.
Oh.
And I got all kinds of nasty. We never had no flood here. I don't know what you're talking about. I never see no water. But hey, I did report what I know.
These neighborhoods are so big.
That last big rain, and you need to know this because it was hidden. We just got that golf cart delivered, and it was raining the last big one we had. And we were going over the bridge in Brownwood, and if you don't know it, there's a deep puddle between the little bridge and the big bridge. And we hit that thing, and it was a lot of water coming. We felt like we were on a boat, not a golf cart. I'm telling
It's starting to rain.
Be aware.
In case you want to put your sides down, it's starting to rain.
Yeah, if I put them down, then it won't rain. So I'm going to put them down. Because if I leave them up, they'll rain.
Okay. Harley John says, I would love to see Skippy do a live storm update from the cart. Well,
I don't know how to be honest with you, I don't know how to keep Wi-Fi on. I could use my cell phone to go around and video things live, and I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
But I found out, I tried it in the car with Sue driving. I've tried to go live while we're going somewhere, and I can't, it won't stay connected. It just keeps saying, I got to reconnect.
Yeah.
And after a while, I just say the heck with it.
Patrick Dowling says,
Have you ever been connected, though, really, Skip? Have you ever really been connected?
In my world.
Wrestler's in the house. Hey, Wrestler. Have you rested up from your vacation yet? Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty exciting.
Did he take his wife home with him?
Well, I assume he did, yes.
This is what I'm saying. Once you get to the age of 70, you have a tendency to lose your sense of humor.
Okay, Gunther Flume says, can you show the beautiful driveway design you have? Well, we can right now because
there's a golf cart sitting
Sean
there.
Paul's golf cart sitting in it. But it's a big red palm tree.
I want to answer this if you're watching, and I don't know this. I get these emails. I want to go through my emails and start answering some of them on here. A guy or a lady, I'm not sure who it is. When somebody's name's Jerry, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. But anyway, wanting to know how much they charged me for my driveway, the painting and everything. Here's the thing. I got this thing done 10 years ago. The price of the day ain't the same. And two is, if you use Romaldo, he doesn't charge by the design. He never did. He's got a book of 10,000 designs in it. You can pick one out. You can tweak it. You can draw your own design. It makes no difference to him. You got to pick out collars. That's what you got to pick out. He charges by the square foot. So he'll measure your driveway, he'll measure your sidewalk, whatever it is you want to get done, whatever the square footage is, it's times whatever he charges, and that's the price. So
And
that's
some
what.
people do inside and outside.
Yeah, and what I'm just saying is he charges about a square foot no matter what he does. A square foot for the garage. Now it's epoxy in the garage, so the price on epoxy is probably a little more than just regular paint. But I'm just saying that's why I can't tell you how much it is, because some driveways here are bigger than others. Some of them are shorter. I mean, I can't tell you that.
Yeah, but you call Romaldo and he'll
Yeah,
be.
you call Romaldo and you tell him that Mr. Skip told you to
It's
call.
B&D Concrete Creations.
That's what he calls him, Mr.
Is
Skip.
what the website is.
At least
B&D Concrete Creations.
You know,
I've been called a lot of things.
yeah,
of that.
I can tell you, from what I know around here, no politics involved, all the foreign people that you meet here, which is a lot, they treat me better than the so-called Americans do.
Raphael over at Massey is the nicest young man and so complimentary when he calls you.
Mm-hmm.
Raphael, is that the guy that trims our bushes?
No, he's at Massey.
Oh, okay.
Massey.
Chano does the bushes. Jose does
Chano.
the yard.
That's his name, Chano.
I
like that name, Chano. That's so macho, ain't it? Chano. I mean, it sounds better than Sean Paul.
His whole family is great. So, Marcia says, I have a portable propane grill, so that's my cooking in case of power outage. Well, I got rid of the grill a few months ago because it sit on the back porch and wasn't used, and it kept rusting out. And I had a cover over it, but it's still, after so many years not being used, it rusted out. So
I want to barbecue. If I want to barbecue a steak on a grill, I'll just go to Longhorn.
Yeah, we still got the propane tank back there, but I got rid of the grill altogether because it's not a biggie. You know, if we really have to, we'll eat bologna sandwiches.
Back to barbecue. When I was here last, Kevin brought you, and I got to give a shout out to Kevin. Kevin is a party animal. We went and saw some concerts with him, and this guy is nonstop. Love you, Kevin. But anyway, Kevin brought some barbecue over. How did his barbecue rate?
Oh.
The meat tastes very good. With me, when it comes to any kind of barbecue, anything, it's not about the meat or how it's cooked. It's the sauce. And most of the sauce that I taste around here is okay. It's not great. Kevin's, I hate to say that because he's so nice to bring it to me. The sauce is okay. It's just not great. It's for my taste buds.
I think what it is, it's a mesquite.
It's a mesquite. I'm not a big mesquite fan of anything. Not even mesquite potato chips. I don't care for them.
Yeah. I think but otherwise, you know.
But otherwise, it's great. I mean, it makes a great. It's very tender, fall off the bone kind of tender. And
I cheated. I ate some.
Did you like it?
Yeah, and I don't eat meat. Yeah.
The mesquite flavoring, I agree with you. I don't like the flavor, but if you cook with mesquite wood, I can't. I mean, I've been cooking barbecue. I can't really tell the difference. People go on and on about cherry or pecan or oak or whatever, and mesquite. You know, it burns hot. That's all I know. But I don't.
There used to be a steakhouse pretty close to Brownsburg where I used to live, and it was just a person's house. They turned the whole house over into a restaurant, so you had different rooms to go into, and they were really known for their cherry wood cooked steaks. What do I know? So Tom came over and got us, me and Sue, and we went over there to get one of these things, and I ate it. And of course, like everything else, what do you think? What do you think? I said the steak was very good, and it was. The steak was very good, very tender. But like you, I didn't really taste any cherry wood. I didn't get all that.
But mesquite flavoring on chips, I think you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, I think that's the way it
turns my stomach.
Yeah, I don't care for mesquite flavoring.
And I used to work at Ruby Tuesdays years ago, and in the kitchen.
How do you work there? They never have nobody in there.
Well, this was years ago.
Back before people had their eyes open.
We were the second busiest Ruby Tuesdays in the nation in Peachtree City, Georgia. It was.
Is it still there?
Nope, it's now Walgreens. It's now Walgreens. But we did our ribs, and this was a weird thing, and I don't get the concept, but we put liquid smoke down in the water, because you steam the ribs in the oven after you sear them on the grill. What is liquid smoke? If anybody knows what that is, I've wondered that for 30-something years. What is liquid smoke?
It's another chemical that makes it taste like it's got smoke in it, but it really don't.
You can use a George Foreman grill and use liquid smoke and make it taste like it's outside.
Liquid.
Hey, listen, don't get started because I question a lot of stuff like that.
I mean,
Like, we don't eat meat because it's bad for you. I said, what do you eat? Well, I eat tofu. I said, what the hell is tofu?
well, I'm gonna drop that one. I'm gonna drop anyway. We're animals. You can eat meat if you want. You cannot eat meat. I eat meat. I like meat.
The Bible says we can eat meat.
Oh, don't start on that. You are not an authority on the Bible, trust me.
She doesn't like that because also in the Bible it says, man was put on earth to serve God. Woman was put on earth to serve man.
I'd like to see the book you're finding that in. Really.
It's getting hot in here, and it ain't the temperature.
Elizabeth Chamberlain says, I come down here with my mom. She really enjoyed it last year, so we decided to come down again. Well, I'll bet. I mean, we have a couple of neighbors here that their mom lives with them, and they think it's wonderful too. So, I know I wished in the worst way that my mom could have seen this place. She would have really been thrilled. And she was one that she loved to dance. She'd always call my aunt to go to the Legion with her or the VFW, so she'd have somebody to dance with. And I said she would have just loved this place, having the band down at the square every night, and all the restaurants having music, and some of the country clubs having music, and yeah, she would have just been over the moon. So I wished I could have had my mom down here.
On the music quality here, if you haven't seen it, you are missing it. If you're thinking about that part of this equation, these people that are entertaining, they're the ones you see on the cruise ships.
Okay,
Kevin's a party animal. He loves Fancy Reagan so much that he's going on the cruise. And let me tell you something. I haven't sat through a whole show here because I just one or two songs and I got to go. I sat through the whole thing of Fancy Reagan, and they are some entertaining people.
They are. They're part of Johnny Wild and the Delights. It's the female part of Johnny Wild and the Delights, and they've always been a big draw here.
And don't stop. They go the whole night, and I mean they take their set breaks, but don't slow down the whole show. And the girls running around.
Yeah.
I don't know how she did it. I mean,
we went the other day. We were invited by Ira Miller to go to the anniversary party at World of Beer, and J.C. Gallagher was playing up there, and he's one of our Patreon members, one of our supporters, and he's wonderful. He's got a house here now, but he's not full time yet because his wife's still working, and so he's just here and back up there. But if you ever get a chance to go listen to him, he does some great music.
And I want to say that's another great thing about here. And Sue, I'll give you props on that one. You always keep people informed about what's coming up, and that's really awesome. But if you lived anywhere else, and I think our amenity fee is $195, I couldn't tell you for sure. I hadn't seen it yet.
About right.
But it seems like $195. If you went to any other city and you went out 7 nights a week to see music, do you think you would end up with $195 a month?
No, sir.
And it's 7 nights a week, and there's 4 bands, and there's fixing to be Esport's going to bring one more every night. And Milton, I don't think they're going to have them every night, but they're going to have a lot.
Yeah.
Most country clubs, especially on the weekend, have their own bands usually outside.
Do they charge for that?
No. And most of
so that's another. How many dozens?
You got City Fire every weekend has a band. You got Cody's every weekend has a band. We went to Bear World every weekend. They have a band. And then across the street, of course, you got the Square. It's everywhere.
So how could anybody complain about an amenity fee? Really? How could you complain about a amenity fee?
Well, you complain about it going up.
Well, because
the
thing is those bands is not part of your amenities. The Square is not part of your amenities.
But you have it. It's got to be paid somehow.
The businesses pay for all Square entertainment.
The business.
Yeah, they got to pay it in their rent.
And then there used to be the Tourism Bureau paid some. I don't know if they still do or not, but the Convention and Tourism Bureau for Sumter County, they paid some of it. But we're getting some good bands. We're getting some newer bands. And like I said, the younger people. And the more people we get down in the southern end, there's a lot of younger people moving in. And so when we come here, it was pretty much country and doo-wop. That was it. But like I said, they're getting newer bands, and they're coming up with better music and newer music. And so the younger people are more in tune to that. And like I said, Kevin's a party animal, and he's got this thing about Relic. He really loves Relic.
I haven't seen. I'm supposed to see them 3 times. Still haven't seen them. But Fancy Reagan is 80s, and that's where I'm from, the 80s. So really enjoyed that.
And I think Relic's going to be playing. I think Saturday the car show, the car showcase is going to be in Brownwood Saturday night, and I think Relic is playing that night.
By the way, you buy a Mini Cooper. There's a Mini Cooper club here.
Yeah.
They plan trips, weekend trips, like going to Key West for the weekend and stuff like that. You might be interested in that if you get one.
And that's why I'd love to have one. Unless there's one down the street here. It's a convertible, but I just think it's cute as could be.
We
not
had
sure I can get in and out of them that well.
We got one for my daughter, and that was an amazing car. The maintenance to replace something when they first invented them, that first one, we bought one for my daughter, and that thing was just a little pocket rocket. And my wife had one, and the only reason she traded it in is she got tired of the clutch because it was stick shift. It's raining. We'll sprinkle.
Okay. Wrestler says it's been raining there since they got back home on Sunday, as if PA was sad to have us return. I'm sure that's not true, Wrestler.
We saw his pictures of his tomatoes.
Oh, yes. Everybody was wanting those tomatoes. It's hard to get the yellow ones down here. I can get the red ones, but it's really hard to get the yellow ones. And there's one lady down at the farmer's market that sells them, but she only has like 4 boxes of them at a time. Everything else is red. So I have to get there early to make sure I get the yellow ones. And I usually only get 4 at a time. On
that topic, do you go to the garden farm stuff, like the blueberry festivals and stuff like that? What do you think about those things?
Sometimes, but there are so many.
We went to that pick your own strawberry thing.
Yeah.
Pick your own strawberry.
Yeah.
We went to
wherever that was. There's also a farm up here where you can pick a cow to have butchered. They got their own meat market right there.
You can buy a whole cow.
You can buy a whole cow and tell them how you want to cut. I want the steaks to be 1.5 inches thick, blah, 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 just like the custom.
I go in on a cow if we get enough people. I would do that.
Yeah.
I'm a carnivore.
When I had my farm, we sold cows all the time to families and things, and they went halves. And the guy would say, I want half, and he gets half. And I always ask him, and I was serious, and I think I was joking. So which half do you want? Look at the cow. Do you want the left side or the right side?
Which half?
Guy asked me, first intelligent question I ever got. He goes, what difference does it make? I said, you don't want the side that the cow lays on. And they always lay on the same side when they lay down. He goes, why is that? That meat's tougher over there.
I would not have heard.
I know, most people have never heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
So it was a father and son. So I said, you guys argue about it.
Best steak I ever had is in El Paso, just outside of El Paso. And if somebody's watching, you can chime in and argue with me. Cattleman's Steakhouse. It's about 30 minutes outside of El Paso. You've been there?
I've been to Cattleman, not that one, but I've been to Cattleman's, yeah.
Well, this is not a chain. This is just their family.
Oh.
And they have, I think it was $32, a 2-pound porterhouse, because they have their own cow. And the waiter said, if you want bigger, just call the day before. What do you need bigger than 2 pounds?
I don't know. I couldn't eat that.
What was the big?
Oh, the Big Texan is a 72-ounce steak. I don't even know what kind of steak it was. Porterhouse, I think. But there were sides, and that's where they get you. A baked potato, a plate of shrimp, salad, and a biscuit or something. And you had to eat all that within an hour, and you got it for free. Well, and you can Google this. You can go to YouTube. There's a video of it, and you'll never believe it. There was a little girl. She weighed about 90 pounds. She goes in and she says, I'm going to do that challenge. I want to get my steak for free. And everybody's kind of, you're going to eat all that? I mean, it's 72 ounces plus. She says, I think I can do it. They set her up on the stage. This girl was an animal. A fork, knife, what do you need that for? She just grabs a steak with both hands and just starts chewing on this thing. And then handfuls of salad. When she got done with that, she says, bring me another one. And she ate 2 of them. She's got pictures all over there.
The sides and everything.
The only person that's ever done that. And she ate 2 of them within the hour.
Yeah.
In the same hour.
Yeah.
It's not 2 hours, but
no.
Salad and roll.
My God.
Salad and roll too.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I told Sue, I said, I couldn't afford to be married to her.
That kid that was winning the hot dog or whatever it was,
yeah.
he only weighed what? About $1.45?
Yeah.
Kevin says, hey, Sean Paul. And so does
Kevin.
Wrestler. Okay. Jesse Gallagher says, I'd still rather be down there in a hurricane than up here in normal weather. Great to meet you two finally. Well, Jesse, we were thrilled with your music. We think you got a great set list and you sing pretty good. And we had a good time. We don't get out that often. We don't go to town that often. But it's hard to turn Ira down. But like I said, we had a
Ira's
really
my
good
weak
time.
point. He's one of them. If he says, "Hey, I'll meet you down here for drinks or whatever," no matter what I'm doing, I always bend over backwards to do that for him.
Yeah, great guy. Wrestler says he's eating really good vegan chicken noodle soup on there.
Vegan chicken noodle. What?
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Craig C says
Does
y'all
that
have
mean
some.
so I got to go back. If you eat a chicken, now I've never seen a chicken eat another chicken or any other meat. I've only seen it. So technically, the chicken's a vegetarian. So if you eat the chicken, aren't you a vegetarian? I'm
You
just
know-
kidding. I was raised vegetarian. I'm just making a joke.
Well,
I'm only
the-
making.
There's no way you're talking to me.
The differences between vegan and vegetarian. One of them is anything with a face.
Yeah.
You don't eat anything with a face. So it doesn't necessarily mean meat. You just don't eat anything with a face.
I was raised 70s vegetarian. And if you need to lose weight, that's what I do. And 70s vegetarian was that you could eat some fish. You could eat fish, but you couldn't eat shellfish. But you could eat, mahi-mahi and things like that. And you could have eggs and cheese. But we had no land meat.
Yeah.
You know what the Bible says about that? When
Here
it
we
comes
go
to
again.
fish, you don't eat anything without a scale.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Yes,
Yes.
Without or with?
without a scale, because that's like catfish. They're bottom suckers, and that's where all the bad stuff is down there.
Okay.
But you got to realize that was written when there was no refrigeration or saran wrap. So the stuff could go bad.
So
Before
you're
we
telling
start
me that
killing
if it's got a scale, we can just leave it
No,
laid out?
I'm saying that they would catch the fish. There's probably something to do with bacteria because you'd catch the fish out on the water. It could take you 3 hours to get back from catching the fish.
It has to do
You
with
had to row back to shore.
it has to do with an order from the Lord. You don't eat anything without a
But
scale.
speaking of fishing in the old ways, you ever watched how they used to do the crab fishing before they had the
Yeah.
man? Them guys could pull them buckets up by hand. Oh my goodness!
See, I'm a big believer in ocean farming. I think that's the future right there for the world, not just us, but to feed the world.
Everything.
And when we go down at Rockport, they do a lot of, I want to call it clam farming, where they got like these long ropes that hang down into the ocean, and they put these little seedling things on there, and then they go back like, I don't know, 5 years from now, and when they pull them things up, there's 500 pounds of clams on each one of them ropes.
So everybody, it spit rain for about 3 seconds, and now it's back sunny again because I pulled down the. Sue told me to pull it down.
That's all right. Like I said, we want to get through till 2 o'clock
But
anyhow.
It's coming. It's right over there.
Yeah, you see it.
Craig C wants to know if we have some mint smoothies left for the storm. Yes, Craig, I didn't eat them all, although I wanted to. He had the best.
Look how dark it is.
He brought some chocolate down from Canada, and it's called.
Oh, yeah, I did have
Maria.
a piece of that chocolate. Sue told me it was really, really good, and I just thought, how good could chocolate be? And I have never had chocolate that tasted like that. The texture and everything. That stuff is so good. I'll bet it's really expensive.
Well, yeah. And like I said, there's 2 different ones in there. There's the little gold coins, and then there's the other. Yeah, the one I had out.
Minty one or whatever.
Yeah, it was just chocolate mint. It's called Rio, RHEO. But that's the best chocolate I ever had. It really, really is good. And I'm not, I like chocolate. I'm not a aficionado of chocolate, but I really haven't had anything like that. I'm used to Hershey's.
Hershey's about as fancy as I get.
Yeah, and
very comfortable. I hate them.
Joseph Dabby says it's windy
I've
down
never
here in the
found
Keys. Yeah, I bet in
Real
Key
comfortable
West,
outdoor chair.
they're starting to get the storm there. Probably. It's getting to that area now.
I'm going
So
like this.
Me too. I hate it. Get a cushion or something down there.
I just outdoor furniture.
My ass is very sensitive.
We knew that.
Kevin says he loves the golf clubs.
Well, good. Maybe he'll like them hybrids. I mean, hybrids are something that when I got mine done, I never had a hybrid, but I'm not a good iron hitter at all. And so I thought maybe the hybrids would help out a little bit. And when I got them, I got to tell you, I felt so much better swinging a 9 hybrid or a 7 hybrid than a 7 iron.
Wrestler says, yes, we can hear you both. John Paul's voice naturally is already tuned up to 11 out of 10. So Mike being held by Skip, you can actually hear John Paul.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
This is the first time somebody's ever told me I was loud.
Oh, and wrestler, it's Sean Paul.
And by the way, I've been called, somebody called me Keith Richards on this, and I've been called Keith Richards again. I must look like hell. Because if you look at a picture of Keith Richards,
No.
and he's a little bit older than me, and he's a little bit more road worn. So I guess the Villages has aged me a lot.
He's got a few drugs under his belt.
Oh, last night I watched the finale of America's Got Talent. And they had a janitor from Terre Haute, Indiana on there, and he was the $1 million winner. He sings, and I said, if you're not looking at him, he sings like Steve Perry. And they had, for the finale last night, they had part of Journey on the stage with him playing.
Steve Perry.
The lead singer for Journey.
He would know the songs. He would not know who's playing.
Yeah, I don't know names.
But
I'll sing for you after the show.
But, you know, this was a janitor. He'd been a janitor for 23 years at one of the Vigo County schools in Indiana. And then I said, his voice was unbelievable. He sang Don't Stop Believing and Faithfully. I mean, all their big hits.
Well, that's the second, because that Asian kid sounded just like him, too.
This
and that
guy
was
did, too.
Scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
You know, it was unbelievable. I mean, all the nuances. But he was so good, and he did win the $1 million.
So that makes me think, you know how they say that there's a person that looks exactly like you somewhere? You know, there's always two of you. And I've seen that. I mean, I've seen people, I've walked up to people thinking they were somebody else in another state. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. Wonder if there's two people that have the same voice, or three for.
That could be, because he looks nothing like, you know, he didn't looks nothing like anybody.
I got two boys that's got a voice that sounds like me. Period. Or they always have. So much that a friend of mine for 50 years, he would call my house. One of the kids would answer the phone, and they would dick with him all the time. Hey, what are you doing?
My neighbor sounds like Alan Alda. My next door neighbor, he sits out on his lanai and talks, and I swear I know that voice. How do I know? He sounds almost identical to Alan Alda.
Yeah.
Oh. Craig Morrison, our Medicare guru, he says, hello, Skip and Sue, late to the show. Darn storm forced rescheduling of a few Medicare appointments.
What am I doing about Medicare appointment?
Oh, my gosh. I hope they can hear me since you can't. Craig, our Medicare guy.
You said something about a Medicare appointment.
Yeah, he said the storm forced some rescheduling of his appointments.
Yeah, everybody's shutting down right now.
Yeah.
And Wednesdays is when Craig comes to the Villages. So if you had an appointment here, he's going to call you.
And BJ Gant says get some duct
they
tape.
Probably shut down things early.
And put the mic on Skip's left chair upright. We hear you both fine. And hello
That's
to
what
Keith
happened in Atlanta. They did not shut down Atlanta until that storm in the 80s. Do y'all remember that storm that hit in the 80s?
Oh, sure. I remember that back in the 80s. I do. I remember that storm.
It made the news.
Who's this guy? Does he know me?
People had to get out of their cars on 285 and walk miles home because they couldn't drive anymore. And I think it's just precautionary, or
not necessarily, because you guys aren't in the southern part here. They're really not geared up for a lot of these major storms. They talk like they are, but the truth of it is, it's in this ear and goes out that ear. They really don't take it serious. Indiana, when they would talk about a major snowstorm, I'm here to tell you, there's so many dipwits up there that they go to work anyway. And then 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's 6-foot snow drifts on the highway. And instead of just hanging around the hospital or whatever and wait for it, what do? They get in the car and thinking, I can make it home. And then they're stuck all over the place.
I did. I made it into the driveway. Half of it.
So I was growing up in South Florida and South Atlanta. We didn't see a whole lot of snow stuff as a kid. But I was, this has been about 96. And there was a big storm, and I happened to be in just outside of Chicago in Skokie, and I didn't understand. Not a fleck of snow had fallen yet, but they knew it was coming. They were salting the roads in the neighborhoods before the storm even hit. So when it hit, the roads were clear. That's a big difference, because in Georgia, in Atlanta, we had, for the state of Georgia, just 8 trucks at one time. 8 trucks ain't gonna service too many roads.
Yeah.
Well, now in Indiana anyway, right before a storm, they don't salt anymore. They spray it. It's like a liquid spray. I don't know what it is. They spray the roads, And so for the first 2 inches of the snow, it immediately melts.
And I say salt. I don't know. It was pebbles. They were throwing out pebbles
I don't know what that. As far as I know, that was salt water they spray on the road. I don't know what it was, but they spray the bridges first, and then they spray the highway.
Don't use baking soda. We got an ice storm one time, and I didn't have any salt because that's when I had my building still, but we were busy, and so I had to put out for the ice for the customers so they didn't slip and fall. And I thought, well, I don't have any salt. I'll do baking soda. Baking soda break up your concrete.
Oh.
Baking soda. Do not use baking soda.
I would have never thought of using baking soda.
Well, it's a form of salt, right?
Yeah.
In baking soda?
I don't know.
Yeah,
never would have thought about it.
It has a sodium content.
Craig C wants to know if anybody's going to the Blue Brothers birthday block party on Saturday. You know, I had that in my notes, Craig, and evidently I threw my notes away because all I got left is some newspaper articles. I usually write all that stuff on my notepad, and evidently I threw that page away. I know I threw a bunch of them away. So
what is it? Blues Brothers what?
Blues Brothers birthday block party on Saturday. You want to explain it, Craig? I'll let people know about it.
So while he's typing in, we down at Sawgrass, they had a Woodstock revival weekend.
Yeah, it was Groovestock or something like that.
And I'll tell you what, people dressing up, it was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was all out.
Well, and I said the party at World of Beer, it was their anniversary, and it was from everybody dressed like the 70s. Except for us, we didn't know that's what it was. You know, we just went to drink and have a good time. But all the waiters and waitresses and everything were all in the hippie stuff. So.
And they had an Irish thing down at Sawgrass as well. They had some specials on the menu at O'Grady's, which O'Grady's is a Scottish pub, but good stuff. That's a good restaurant. I like. Yeah. Have you been out of that O'Grady's?
Oh yeah, we go every once in a while. It started out with not having much of a menu.
Yeah.
But I think they have just slowly got back up to par.
And Kelly and I have been going almost every Tuesday. They have steak and lobster special on Tuesday nights. And I got to be honest with you, it's the best steak and lobster I've ever had.
Really?
I mean, consistently good. Now, last night we went and they were closed for a private party. But Tuesday steak and lobster.
We've basically been for lunch. So, you know, I've never had that before. Trying to think what I had last time I was there. But I don't remember now. So, wasn't a biggie. Let's see. Mark Berry says, your shirt looks light blue. Your shirt looks light blue.
I think our shirts, mine's, I don't know what you call it. There's hers, there's mine.
Okay. Yeah. I said, I don't know if you can tell. It's pretty much the same. I said, mine's got a little bit more blue in it.
Pretty close.
Let me see. Craig Morrison said, I didn't get a text. Am I not your friend?
No, Craig. We're outing you. Just letting you know. We had a vote.
Oh, and BJ Gant says BJ is Barbara Jean. Just FYI.
I got to tell y'all, if y'all ever come here because Skip makes you feel welcome once you're around him. But if you say, can I come to Porch Sitting or something about Porch Sitting, he says, I don't care. That's what his response is. I don't care. So you can think he's a little mean. Well, it probably is a little mean, but.
He's a teddy bear. He wants everybody to think he is.
I don't care. That's what. At first, I was like, "Well, is he mad at me?" And I was like, "Oh, wait a second, that's Skip."
Yeah, well, and that's well, we go round and round about that all the time. Okay.
While you're pausing, I got to tell you, your purple flowers here just look fantastic.
You know, those I didn't plant those. Those come up on their own.
Wow.
Because I've got the one pot up here by the front door. That's what they've got in it. And these has got a bug on them. Yeah, I'm trying to kill the bugs off of them. And they're so beautiful, but I think I'm probably going to have to trim them back quite a bit to get rid of the bugs. I've got them sprayed and all, so they're kind of greasy now, so don't back into them. But
so you're saying these purple flowers just came up all by themselves?
Yes, I did not plant them.
And what about the pink and the different color purple?
Yeah, I did not plant them.
Wow.
It's the seeds
you
that
got
blow.
Your bang for your buck, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's the seeds that blow off the ones that are planted. Those are vincas, and they were big this year. I mean, everywhere you went, they had a lot of them. And I said, one reason I like them is because I don't have to plant them. They just kind of blow around and come up. Well, you got good dirt.
That makes me think about at my house, I planted red hibiscus, and I just knew that the dog pee was going to kill it because one dog can't stop pee. That's actually growing better. I think the dog pee helps. If anybody knows something about that, you could chime in.
Yeah.
And a report on the dogs. The invisible fence they're good to go.
Good.
They had their big test. A little dog came walking by, and the one charged out in the street, boop, right back in. So,
well, have you noticed? I cut the hibiscus down. It was in front of the bushes here because it got too tall. It was like 8 foot tall, and it was time to
how long had it been there?
I think about 3 years, because the first year they didn't do much, and so I cut him down to the ground. And Skip said I shouldn't have planted him there because there was a water line under there or something. And so I said, well, already in there now. So I cut him down to where I thought they were going to die, but they didn't. They did twice as good, and they started getting tall. And I wasn't expecting them to get that tall. And so I cut him down the other day. So
do you know anything about the Creighton myrtles here? Because I'm not a big Creighton myrtle. Your neighbor's got one over there. I'm not a big Creighton myrtle fan, but do you trim them back here because they look really like terrible right now?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to cut them back now or something?
In the fall you do, but like I said, some of them don't bother with them. They just don't bother with them.
Well, this is about the ugliest thing in my front yard right now. It came with the house as part of and I got to get a palm tree. I want those little palm trees like you got.
Oh, those are Robellinis.
Robellinis. Yeah. I want them. I got to write that down, Kelly, if you're watching. Robellinis.
Oh, Tammy says, hello from Wisconsin. Please stay safe. We will be moving down in October.
Kelly's family's from Wisconsin.
I don't think we have much worries, truthfully. It doesn't mean that I don't prepare. I prepare because you never know. I don't want to get too complacent about things because you just don't know what Mother Nature does her own thing. So
and the golf cart tunnels all flood pretty fast, don't they?
Some of them do, yeah. Depends on where you're at, but in the old section especially, because they weren't made for that. But they have since done a lot of work on getting them fixed. So I'm hoping that they all stay good. I don't know about the south of 44 is kind of it's a different critter. Like I said, I know from 44 north, I know about what it's going to do everywhere. But south of 44, like I said, that's a new area, and they're still building. And you know how when they're building, it tends to move the water this direction or that direction.
The last rain, and it flooded all the golf courses. That was the weekend we moved here, the last one. So 7 weeks ago, whatever it's been. I can say that from Brownwood south, we didn't have any flooding problems at all. But then when I came up here, all your golf courses were still closed down.
Yeah, and
they were way underwater. They've
still got some of them that are closed down because they're not only looking for that's the way they get rid of excess water here.
And I know
it's made to go to the golf courses instead of the housing. And so that way the golf courses fill up with water during storms like this, during hurricanes and what have you. But that's how it's engineered to do that, to keep the water from going in the neighborhoods.
And I know, Sue, that some people complain about the developer, but from an outsider, because I'm an insider. I mean, you heard me about the truck and the car, but from an outsider looking in, you can see it looks like they've learned what works, and every time they build something new, in 10 years from now, mine will be old hat.
Yeah, and they do that. They learn as they go, and it's just like
they apply it. It's not like in Atlanta where they learn, but they didn't apply anything.
We don't have walking trails here. The south of 44, they've got them. They did put one in Lake Meona, but that's because the neighborhood wanted it, and so they rallied for it. But otherwise, up north there is no walking trails. I know south of 44 in the Finney area and all, they've got walking trails.
Finney's gorgeous. We went over to Finney, and I've heard mixed things about the Finney Grill. I had the best sausage and pepper sub over at Finney Grill I think I've had in my life. And that is a cool place over there. People that lived in Finney, they go on and on about Finney. And I had to go over there and see. When you first drive into Finney, it looks about the same. But when you go to that rec center, have you been over there?
It's beautiful.
It is like, I swear it's a Disney place. It looks like Walt himself came up and designed it.
I said, with the hanging trees and everything, it's a gorgeous area.
And their parks, I mean, we got some good parks in Lake Denham, but those trees, how they did, and they did the paths around the trees.
Those were natural, and they left them all the way they were. They built around the ones that was there. and left them natural, and that it just makes them. It makes it even more
And
beautiful.
if you want to be if I have everybody that's lived in Finney, if they don't live in Finney, they want to go back to Finney. I've not met one person that left Finney and said, "Oh, I'm glad I left Finney."
Yeah.
And one
we
guy
lost
built
a lot
designer.
of our neighbors. A lot of our neighbors moved down there. Yeah, when they first opened that up down there. Of course, they cashed out up here because they got a lot more money, but they moved down to their area because it was so pretty.
It is beautiful. Yeah. It's just not at the front, not when you first pull in, but when you drive back in there with those trees, it is gorgeous. Yeah. I will say it just has a different Villages feel. Well, they all do. I don't want to pigeonhole just Finney. Every area has its own feeling. Like it feels different here than it does in Lake Denham.
Yeah. Tammy said just booked 2 nights at Brownwood Hotel for October 22nd, 23rd. Oh, Tammy, that's not enough time.
No,
that's not enough time.
That'll give you enough. Rent a golf cart. Just go right there, the golf cart rental place, and I think it's only like $30-something a day. Rent you a golf cart over there in Brownwood Square, and just hit the golf cart paths. If you're only going to be here 2 days, yeah.
That's the lifestyle here, and it's a way to be immersed in their lifestyle.
When we came down for our lifestyle visit, we did a week. Our agent said that we put the most miles on a golf cart ever. We did 350, but about 375 miles on a golf cart.
Well, she said her birthday's the 22nd. She can't wait to get down here. So, and Jerry says happy birthday, Sue. Well, thank you, Jerry.
Oh, happy birthday, Sue! I forgot.
It's just a day of getting older.
But it doesn't.
I don't know if I should celebrate that, but I guess I'm still here, so that's a good thing, right?
I'm just gonna say overall that birthdays don't mean as much here because everybody just age doesn't matter here. And speaking of that, I stopped and had lunch right when I was coming over. I got here way early, so I went over that Prairie. What's the
Evans Prairie?
Evans Prairie, and I had a club wrap, which that was actually good. They do a good sandwich over there.
They do.
And I was talking with the ladies and sitting at the bar, and nobody thinks about age here. And she was talking about her husband didn't have mobility. And I said, well, I saw this lady, and I swear it was right there on Megason on the golf cart path. She looked like she was every bit of 100, probably over. And she had her scooter on the golf cart path, and her scooter had 6 mirrors on either side. And she just like that. No one slows down here. No. If you want to stay alive and you want to have a great time, move here. If you want to get old and die in some old folks' home, stay wherever you're at.
Yeah. Well, I said we have a lot of people here that are up there in age, and I'm amazed sometimes. They just. I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm.
And they
when
dance.
I get that age, I'm hoping that I'm not.
They dance. Able. They're at the squares dancing. I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, they move.
Let's see. Oh, and she bought a house. Huh. Said I bought a house, wrestler, moving in that week. Wow.
What neighborhood?
Yeah, what neighborhood did you buy in, Tammy? And I'm saying Tammy, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it.
Well, it could be like Sean Paul. I spell it JONCP2Z. No.
Well, I said we had a John Paul that worked for us.
Yeah.
For years in a trucking company, and so that's why it just comes out really easy. She said they booked a hotel because they're not bringing any furniture. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
where did they buy? Where did they buy?
Yeah, she hadn't said yet. Mark Bear says they've already sold a number of the new Richmond homes. Yeah, I knew it would be. Somebody said it'd be a feeding frenzy, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Did they open all of them, or did they just do like a few at a time?
I think they opened the whole, because I don't know how many they built, because that was an afterthought after they built Richmond, and they left that area open.
Looks like about 45, maybe 50 homes.
Yes, I don't really know if they.
It is smaller. They got the small. You can tell. That's another thing too, guys. When you come down here, you can tell how big your neighborhood is going to be by your postal station. If you got a small, like one block of them, then you're in a small one. Ours has got 4 big blocks and then a back. I mean, a lot of postal boxes.
Yeah. Patricia Shaw wants to know, does anybody here know how to Middleton? They don't have it on any map. You mean how to get to Middleton?
You go, there's the path. If you go down to, I love how they've done that. And, I know Skip ain't gonna go on a long golf cart ride, but you should see it. They have really thought this out because the path at Shady Brook, just up from the Boosters Country Club there, they got a tunnel going over to the football stadium. And they actually have, it's a network of tunnels and paths. They have one-way golf cart paths now, like on-ramps for the football.
Oh, cool.
And we went and watched the football game for a little. They did really good over there. I'm so impressed with Middleton. But yeah, you can ride your golf cart from the Villages straight into Middleton, no problem.
And that stadium something?
Yeah, it is. It feels, it's nicer than some college campuses. I mean, just gorgeous down there.
Okay, Bad Karma says Marbella Villas are the new ones up north. Yeah, I didn't know the name of them, but I knew it's where Hacienda was. And the Hacienda Rec Center is still there. What they tore down was the country club. The country club and the golf store is what they tore down, and then they put the villas in there. But the Hacienda Rec Center is there behind the pond there in Spanish Springs, and it's still there because they still use it for quite a bit. But I think the problem there was so much redo that they had to do to that building. They had to refurbish it because it was like the one in Paradise. It had some age on it, and it really needed a lot of revamping. And I said the neighborhood didn't want to buy it because they knew it was going to cost a lot of money. And the developer didn't want it because they knew it was going to cost a lot of money. So they tore it down and they built those new villas in there. It's a beautiful area. I mean, of course, everything here is.
I find it fascinating that it's only courtyards. That tells you that the courtyards are the hot seller right now.
No, actually, it was the space that they had.
Oh, it's the space.
Yeah, the kind of
well,
space.
they could have put patios.
Well, with having the country club there, and I said the golf thing there, they only had a certain amount of space to put stuff in there, and I think they got the most out of the villas. So,
well, they are selling the courtyards and the verandas are selling like hotcakes now.
Yeah. Well, and, for somebody that's not going to be here full time, I think they're ideal. And now, like I said, I liked our little patio villa. I could have lived in that, without any problem, but not enough garage space.
And the washer and dryer was in the garage.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Whoever thought that was not from Florida, because to put that in the.
I didn't know any difference because I lived up north. To me, I thought, oh, okay.
Well, our garage is way too hot. I'm trying to figure out how to ventilate our garage.
Keep in mind,
and we don't have a washer and dryer in there.
Keep in mind, back in the day when we bought that, all them homes were built for snowbird recommendations. So if you're down here in the wintertime, the garage ain't near as hot. So, and then when we decided we were just going to come down here full time right away, my garage ain't big enough, and we're not going to have a washer and dryer in the garage because in summertime it's 140 degrees out there.
So we did add something that I forgot to mention. We did we don't have we're in a Whippoorwill and it has a small garage on it. We did the magic stairs and the magic lift. That's a really cool thing. That is really cool.
Yeah.
I brought my own lawn equipment. I'm not paying to have my lawn done yet. Okay. And all of it just went upstairs.
Well, like I said, you're young enough. You can still do that.
I mowed my yard for 5 years with a push mower.
My neighbor does his with an electric push mower.
Well, if I have one advice to anybody who wants to mow their own yard, get a self-propelled mower.
Yes. Yeah, because this kind of grass, it gets to where it's really hard to push.
Well, you have the zoysia up here. Zoysia is a different animal.
Yeah.
We have centipede.
And we're used to Kentucky bluegrass.
When you're in your 70s, you ain't going to mow that yard when it's 97 degrees out.
I love my tractor. I brought my redneck Gravely tractor built in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I love it. I've only had it. This is my 3rd year having it, and I wasn't going to part with it.
Why don't you mow all your neighbors' yards?
And somebody said that I wouldn't enjoy mowing theirs. I enjoy mowing mine, unless they want to pay me. I'll tell you what. You pay me $200 a mow, I'll come mow your lawn.
Okay.
1 yard?
1 yard, $200. You want to pay me to do it? I'll do your yard.
All right, I think you're out of business already.
Think about it. Yeah.
Craig C says our first hurricane. I heard a lot about the flood management system here in the Villages. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it in action. Well, if we get the kind of rain they're talking about, I think you'll see. And you'll see. We have on either side of the house, you have the, what do they call them? Where the either side of the house.
I wasn't listening. What?
Yeah, I'm used to that. On either side of the house, where they have the ditches, what do they call them?
I don't know.
Culvert.
It's just a drain.
Okay.
A drain thing.
Culvert on either side of the house, and you'll see the water running through there. It runs out to the street, to the big drain.
Yeah, but don't freak out about it like you're flooding. They're designed to do that.
That's what I said. He's interested in seeing how they do it. He's heard about it.
I can only tell you here where we're at, and I'm not speaking for all of the villages by any means. We have never had a water problem here. We have never lost electricity, not even one time. But that don't mean anything because different sections can have their problems. Now, I do know, like up at the Havana Country Club, there's a certain tunnel up there. Then I've been through it to go up to the Havana Country Club to eat. For some reason, that tunnel floods.
Well, it looks like they just moved it over towards Panama City because it was coming up there, and now it looks like it's.
Well, that's what I said. When it does the wobble, it's hard telling.
You can see the wobble right there.
Yeah. So that means it's going to be closer to us.
No.
Yeah.
But the new path. Oh, and look at that. That's all in a drought up there in Tennessee and all. They're going to get all caught up.
Good. Kathy B in the 603 says, "Hi, Skip and Sue. Hope the storm isn't too severe in your area." Well, I said it hadn't started yet, but I think probably just any minute we're going to get some rain.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to all get together and right in the middle of the hurricane storm, call to have a pizza delivered to the house and video it.
We did that over at Barb's.
Send me all your videos. I'll put them all together and we'll post them.
That first hurricane, we was playing cards next door, and I said we just drank a lot of wine. Waiting for the storm to be over.
I was saying a 3. It'll be category 3 when it gets up there. Earlier today, they said it could be a 4. It looks like it's taking form too.
Oh, William.
Spreads here in a second.
He says
this morning it wasn't formed like that. It was sitting down here.
I've been ordering boomerangs from Amazon and returning them for laughs.
They say the bands are the worst. If the bands, when you're in that counterclockwise and the band's coming over the ocean and then hits you wherever you're at. But if you're on the other side, not that much.
I don't know exactly how all that works. I know at the center of the hurricane, it's not much of anything, but whether the west side of a hurricane or the east side of a hurricane is worse than the other, I don't know that. But I do know that every hurricane we've had here, other than the wind, of course, was it brought in a lot of rain. So that's why I was shocked when you said they're calling for 2 inches of rain. What?
That's what it said at one point today. The weather. I should have been a weather person because they can be 80-90% wrong and still get a paycheck, and I'm at least 80-90% wrong all the time.
Well, so. in Florida, they show in the rainy season they show rain every day, and when it's not the rainy season they show sun every day. How wrong can you be?
So when that last one hit Panama City real bad in Mexico Beach, that I went and saw it because I just happened to be in the area. Every house leveled on Mexico Beach except for that one, and it made some kind of history that it didn't. But it was the weirdest thing. There was it looked like somebody just had a big college party out on the beach. It was so nothing left.
Yeah.
Except for the one house sitting there.
We
right
went
on
through
the beach.
there right after that on our way to Texas, I think, and yeah, it was really odd. Craig C said
tornadoes
he was great with
in
the set
Indiana
list.
was like that. We went up to the Palm Sunday tornado. My uncle lived up there. He had a farm, and my mom and dad went up to help him clean up. His house was there. His neighbor's house was totally gone. The house on the other side of him was totally gone. My uncle's house stood there, totally unscathed. Not a shingle missing. Go figure that out.
With the Mini Cooper Club, when they go on long trips, they chain them all together and pull them with a diesel pickup truck.
Why are they chained together?
The Mini Cooper. He's poking fun at the Mini Cooper, saying they make them into a train. They pull them with a diesel.
Frank's coastal areas get
I miss my diesel.
waves.
I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm struggling. The reality that this truck, I've had it since day one, and it's a 2002, and it's been a great truck. I don't think I need to spend. And the guy said, it depends on what you want. He said I can fix it for about $11,000, or you can go buy a new one for $90,000. I just don't know that I need another truck, but I will miss the diesel truck, and you can make fun of me about
Miss Vicky says, I think you look like Keith Richards' son or grandson.
it. Thank you.
Well, what gave it away? Was it the puka beads? Craig C says, I'll be happy to mail you some more chocolates from Rio. Now you know why they're world famous. In U.S. dollars, those squares are about $1.50. The exchange rate sucks.
Is that
Really?
Rio de Janeiro?
No, that's the name of those chocolates that they brought from Canada.
Oh, they're from Canada.
Yeah, Craig and his wife brought them down for us from Canada. And like I said, it's the best chocolate. It really, really is. And I said, that's what I said. They're with the exchange rate, they're only about $1.50.
I seen on Discord today, Craig was making a comment about going somewhere to a Blues Brothers block
Yeah,
party.
I said, and I had it in my notes and I threw them away for some reason. I don't think I have any.
You were talking to the police while you were out. I know you're a bit worried about they was going to pick you up or something.
I got people looking after me.
But we had the talk about the Blues Brothers and the different festivals down near me. They had the Woodstock Festival a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Grove Stock. It was in Sawgrass Grove. Yeah. Let's see. Craig says we are celebrating Tanya's 55th birthday, open to the public. Monarch Grove Village, Big City Pizza food truck, and Icy King will be available. Okay. Okay, and also starting at 2:30 p.m., Leesburg Blues Brothers start around 3-ish. We will gladly accept and be appreciative of any tips and donations. Bring your own booze and chairs. There you go. Well, that's the Blues Brothers block party.
Speaking of weather skipping, if you drive around enough during the storms, it can be raining in your yard, but not in their yard.
I've seen that.
Yeah, Mark, we're really behind.
And here, the village has gotten big enough now where you seen a while ago where somebody said it was raining up here at Spanish Springs, but we weren't getting any rain here. So it happens. Okay. Most of our rain at this time of year always comes from that direction toward the Tampa Bay area, and it comes this way. And it has nothing to do with the hurricane. It just always comes from that way and comes this direction.
Well, in the time we've been sitting here, the temperature has changed 3 times. It was a little warm when I came up, and then it got cooler, and now it's back almost hot out here again. Yeah. And that's just, what, an hour?
Yeah, it'll change now until the hurricane passes. Oh. And as the closer the hurricane gets, you're liable to see the temperature get 10 degrees warmer.
Oh, Tony and Dina, thank you. You know, it's just another day for me.
What time is it? Are we getting close to?
Yes, we are. It's 1:56.
What?
1:56. Okay.
Give your announcements then.
Okay.
We're about done.
I got a few things here.
Oh, Russell, you put the warning on here for you? So, 10 minutes.
Yes. The village's active aging week is coming up from September 30th to October 4th.
Speaking of that, Kevin's even putting a thing on here saying it's pouring at his house.
Oh, okay.
He just lives on the other side of the lake.
It just got cool. Did y'all feel it? It just got cool here.
Yeah, well, he's up in Buttonwood, so if it's pouring up there, it's coming. But anyhow, they have active aging week, September 30th to October 4th. 6 events are scheduled at 5 different recreation centers during the week, from scenic walks to line dancing. The first event will be a presentation by the village's health on skin cancer at 9 a.m. September 30th at Savannah. This part of the week is the wider initiative of the International Council on Active Ages. Residents can sign up online at districtgov.org or visit any at-your-service locations. This is a little notice from the RC Club promotes electric 110 scale RC car racing at Everglades Rec Center RC track. Racing is conducted every Saturday from 9 to 1. The club holds a monthly membership meeting from 7 to 9 on the 3rd Tuesday of each month at Canal Street Recreation Center. Everyone is welcome. If you're interested in learning more, please contact Craig Allen, Doug Doucette, or visit our webpage at the villages rccarclub.com. Okay. The next one is National Night Out event in the villages. Community Watch will host its annual National Night Out from 5 to 7 on October 1st at Eisenhower Rec Center. The free event allows the public to meet local law enforcement and first responders from the village's public safety department. and agency from the surrounding communities. That's always a big deal. I mean, the National Night Out event. I mean, it's really a big deal. And then you get to know your law enforcement.
And good people.
Yeah,
the law
good
enforcement, the little bit of stuff we've had, I called down there. Everybody is super good down
they're
there.
excellent. The Red Sox Nation is accepting new members. This is the largest chapter of Red Sox Nation in America. And they're says you're invited September 30th. Let's say the event number 1 is executive golf scramble, midday tea times. Event number 2 is club meeting and catered dinner at 5:30. Golf prize is a 50-50 raffle. Register for one or both events at redsox-villages.com. Yeah, if you're a big Red Sox fan, I said this is the biggest club in America for the Red Sox. Craft sale, Monday, September 30th, from 9 to 12:30 at Everglades Recreation Center, 5497 Marsh Bend Trail, Wildwood. All items handcrafted, sponsored by Abundance of Love, TVA abundanceoflove.com. Proceeds go towards supplies used to create items for local charities, schools, and hospitals. Yeah, let's go check out the craft sale. I always do. Okay, and the last is the Car Club Showcase, which this is on Saturday at Brownwood. And they have the clubs that are participating is the British Motoring Club, the Villages Camaro Club, the Villages Corvette Club, the Villages BMW Z Club, the Villages Convertible Club, the Villages Classic Automobile Club, Mercedes Enthusiast Club, and the Mopar Family. That sounds like a lot. They're all given an area, each one of them, and showcase their cars. Go take a look. There's some unusual cars at these shows, let me tell you. And I think that's about it. So have a good weekend. Get through the storm.
If anybody loves their salon and they know they need another hairdresser, I'm a loud, rude, and aggressive hairdresser looking for a job.
There you go.
There you go.
He said it. You heard it here. Okay. Oh, yes, Ruth. Yeah, wasn't he great? I mean, you never think of him as being a performer. The guy that won America's Got Talent. The guy that won America's Got Talent.
I don't watch that.
I know. Oh, you wouldn't even know it was on. It wasn't for me.